Jay-Z, I made $1 million. Took a loss, I know the feeling. I got back up and kept building, and kept building, and kept building. Every day I hustle cause cash rules. Champagne bottle was half full.
Oh, okay, welcome to Dram Spot. I'm chilling here with my man Omillio Sparks. What's happening, homeboy?
Yo, Dram, what's up with you, man?
Chilling. You know what? I just met this man a couple weeks ago. We went down to Miami. We had a fantastic time getting to know him, and I convinced him to come on the show, and I can't be happier. So just to get started, you know, a lot of people think and know you from the Rockefeller, of course, and all that, but a lot of them think you just be on the mixtape grind, you know what I mean? But they don't realize you had some actual releases, like in 2007, the Payback.
Yeah.
So you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, you know what? I think the misconception coming from because me and Oskino never dropped the album. So when you never got that album, I did end up putting my own stuff out on the label. Without the label, I put Bad Guy one out with my management team, Adju Asimo at the time, and the second one I put out, we put actually same management team, but through Tim Thomas. You know, we got the proposal over to him and put them joints out. But I guess it was the whole DJ Envy circuit. You know, we had other Empire Strike Back, the Hot 97s. I've been going platinum without having to actually put an album out on Rockefeller.
Right. So where was this album put out on? What label was that on?
Payback was Koch. We did a joint venture with Koch Colossal Entertainment and Omillio Sparks Entertainment. We did a joint venture to do distribution through Koch.
Okay.
And that came out 8/28 in 07.
Right.
Yep.
Then you had another joint in 2003. How did that come about?
Which one was that? The inauguration?
It was the Mad Ave movement.
Oh, now I was working on the Payback album, and I had a camp the young guys that was rapping because you know when we came back from Rockefeller, my whole thing was how can I show these guys something positive we can do and really make some noise out here. So I just wanted to get a couple of new artists that was in the neighborhood and put the album out, and it came out. And we was working with Kwaku at the time, and I still was with Colossal though. So that was just another project I wanted to do with the guys myself.
All right. So how did you land on Koch? And how did that unfold? What made you jump on Koch?
Well, they had, like I said, distribution. We finished the record. The guys from Colossal Entertainment, we sat down with them, and I said, all right, cool. It was like a joint venture. It was a situation where I felt like I trusted the guys. You know what I'm saying? And we got something done. And I say, look, let's just get bust the moves. We can do it ourselves. And I'm home. You know what I mean? Versus whatever was going on in New York. It was like, you know what, no bad blood, but I'm not done. You know what I mean? I wasn't done living out my dreams. Like I say, like this was like, you know, my passion, and it stopped abruptly. And so when I came home, they laid the red carpet out for me, and we went to talk with, I think he said Isadori up there, and we put it out.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So I
could just create and be an artist, and I ain't had to worry about too much other stuff.
Okay, so your experience from being in the business then and now, how are you navigating the business today versus what you did back then?
Well, I'm pretty much hands-on with everything because, you know, in the business, you have to have good business people around you. So you can't, it's a no-brainer to have the right people instead of the wrong people. So instead of just ruining a relationship, just don't deal with it and just keep, you know, and get the job done. If I can get it done myself, I'd do it. But the only thing different now is just the internet, you know. You can just get everything straight to the people right now. It's like, you know, and tracking your money down streams. I know it's not like the money is different, you know. That's the only thing different. Yeah. I look at it like how the money.
Yeah, it seems a little more accessible, but not as lucrative.
Yeah,
exactly.
We was, you know, you could sell your CD at $16 a pop at that time, and we was doing numbers. So you'll see numbers, even if you're publishing and all that kind of stuff. You feeling good. You just gotta know, you know, educate yourself more on overseas money and stuff like that, you know.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm gonna spin back real quick on one thing you're gonna know about me is I'm definitely a topic jumper.
Okay.
So as long as you follow with me, you gotta step with me. So I'm gonna swing back. Let's talk about how you your production, what you're doing right now, as far as even on those older albums that you were talking about that wasn't under Rockefeller's, the producers that you use. How you feel about working with no-name guys, or how do you get How do you, you're not going to a Swiss Beats, or, if Rockefeller's not laying out the beats for you, what are you doing now? Who are you relying on for your production?
Well, I never went to a Swiss Beats. We worked around them. Jay and them would do that, and I guess if they feel like messing it was spending the budget there on that production. We was new, so I didn't mind dealing with B-listers. You know what I'm saying? See, because these guys they overlooked, but they gave you Till I'm Gone. They gave you Troubled Man. These wasn't the best producers that was out at the time, but these guys was we was complimenting each other with the records, and I think when we got to part 2. We had more money, so of course, you hear the difference in the production and stuff like that. But I think whoever I got a chance to deal with that was a big Bank. I think I did music with Bank. I don't know if that was released. I don't know if Kanye did a joint for us. Amir probably had a beat from him or not, but it didn't. Our album never came out, so we ain't really screwed that budget up on that anyway. But I don't mind messing with new producers. Like even today, I'm dealing with production, but people that do production that I never used their production before, but it sounds great together. You know what I'm saying? So I go with how they taught us at Rockefeller, whatever works. That was our sound. We get a bunch of producers and we create an album, a body of work, and then pick the best records.
So I'm not going to sit here like, you can't get away from the things that you were a part of in the past. Rockefeller was big. They broke up. Do y'all ever communicate at all? Do y'all ever talk about doing like a reunion type deal?
I don't talk to him about that. I just I see everything just like everybody else see it on the internet. So I wake up, I look at the internet, and that's just what goes on. But nobody calls and say we're gonna do the business. I talked to Bleak though. I reach out to Bleak. He say come up and we get it done. I went to New York, do some stuff like different podcasts. I had to get on these platforms to because there's money being made, and people wanted to hear from me out there in the public. So I was like, all right, but I cost. I did a lot of favors. It was a point where everybody was fronting that, what I'm saying? That's like I literally took out my habitat and somebody had a tube. Now I'm trying to figure out who it was. So I'm poking in these these places, but I know I'm worth something. So it's like, all right, boom. So you're still relevant. So when people try to undermine you, that's the part of the business, that love-hate thing I don't like. So I stay grounded, in the neighborhoods, and I be in the community. That's why I started doing mental health. It keeps me busy,
right?
And I'm still gonna make some money. I can still make money.
So I was going to get to that next. So in the movie, your character, that was really you,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you were from the streets and you know somebody that can take care of business in a way that you can't, people rely on you, and they kind of take advantage of the fact that you're a gritty person, and now that what we're going to get into eventually is your foundation and you giving back to the community. That's a spiritual thing. So there had to be an aha moment, something that says, you know what, man, I'm done with that. I want to move on to something different.
Yeah, because it's crazy, because the gritty, we laughed at this. I told Dr. Wilson that. I said, you want the old me, buy the old record. You understand where I'm coming from? Because I understand they want to use grit, but they keep forgetting that I know where to take you away from. And we come from poverty, we come from broken homes, but we also saw how it feels. And got to see with 2-parent households, it was somebody actually stepping up to the plate for you. So I always had this balance going on in my life anyway. So it was like, so it was like one of the things. But when they try to take advantage of it, it's like, all right, but in this case, I would say, let's execute the plan, because this is legit and we can pay taxes on this. So what's the problem on that? So it was confusing on business. And I saw business, so I knew it wasn't business. It just looked like somebody else was using my brand to go do something they ain't had no business. Probably something I'd be against, and I'd probably holler at you about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Understandable. So moving away from that part, so to try to segue into what you're doing today with your foundation, like, one, I want to know if I was somebody out there that I needed, what you're offering. One, what are you offering with your foundation? How are you helping the community? So, and if I needed your services or what you had to offer, how could I get in touch with you? Or on the flip side of that, this is a 2-part question. If I was somebody who wanted to support you and your foundation, what could we do?
Well, you can go to OmillioSparksFoundation.org. You can Google that. We got 50 resources helping kids from 14 to 18 get connected to the proper services and identify with their traumas, because that's what we talking about. It's one of them things where when I say talk, people, the communication ain't there because somebody don't want to open up about something. And let's just take it a step further. I was a young guy. I remember what it was like to see a guy with a pair of new tennis shoes and I didn't have it. You know, but I watched grandma working hard. You know what I'm saying? I know mine was young, and grandma busting her chops trying to get it. You know what I'm saying? But and the other guys, you know, they got better. So if you allow it to, it can play. You can turn you into something else, or you can just try to work through it. You know, so I was working through it. So I know it'd be something as simple as that. Or you go to somebody's house and they got stovetop. You don't got stovetop. You know what I mean? So we know what it's like. So I used to know a guy named Jared around the corner. He used to have all the Jordans. We go see him. Bert Nummer had the British nights, you know. And we saw it. It was like, damn. But we didn't get mad at mommy because we seeing mom and grandma and them. Because when the men, when the infrastructure get broke down, the men are leaving the households and the women are trying to. It was just, hey, I got to become the man. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't had time to look cute all the time, because you might have to put the money to something to eat that night and stuff. Right. Prioritize. So that's what, when I say I holler at people and all that kind of stuff, that's the kind of holler some of the young guys need too, because we needed that structure from male figures and try to, you know, see how we could be productive in these communities and try to change our situations, conflict resolution and stuff like that. So we can identify what we're going through, how to work through it and process that and be productive out here instead of just crashing out and going straight to the jail. We know this, we've been saying this for generations. So that's what that's about. And I dealt with mental health. I was in these institutes. I literally was in these joints. So and after I come from Rockefeller, because I wasn't dealing with it. I'm between shell shock because, you know, even though we had good stuff going on, they was, you know, we got shootouts in front of the house and right around the corner up the block. We dealing with trauma ourselves. So when I got the proper treatment, it was I can come back and try to get back, and that's what I did with the Sprout Foundation, and I've been doing my thing. Yeah.
So mental health is definitely big because we, you know, as far as in our community, we kind of act like they didn't
shy away from it, right?
Yeah. But also, during our many conversations down in Miami, I do remember just you mentioned about physical health, like you was maybe partnering with somebody that could actually help with somebody that may, you know, STDs and things that you can get check up on your physical health.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying when we're working with people. That's another thing. We can't be biased about what programs because they bring. I can offer you my 50 resources and stuff outside of it. I have resources outside of that because mine's that deal with just mental health. Like you say, we got kids that's running around that don't have the proper education on how to use rubbers and sex and what come with it. What's the long term of this? If you're having these kids and and all that kind of stuff. So you need these kind of people around. Therapists, like we have therapists and doctors, professional people, so you can talk to and that kind of stuff. So you ain't feeling uncomfortable because these kind of conversations people can't have them in certain circles. So we open up the doors and you can come in there. You can sit at the man-to-man meeting. You know, or if I throw something, you're more than welcome to come there, and you can come sit in, share, and we there bi-weekly, and that's what we there for.
Yeah, that's dope. You know what I mean? So the other thing I wanted to talk about, now that we addressed your foundation, and one more time, if you could let them know where, if they need help or if they want to support, just let them know where they can go
definitely.
for that.
Yeah, you can go to OmillioSparks.org. We got the phone numbers on there, my fact sheet, my fact sheet's on there, and the Omillio Sparks Foundation on IG also. You can go there and see what kind of work we're doing and all that kind of stuff, and that's how you find me.
Now let's get down to business.
All right, let's get
down to business. Let's get down to business. Now, ultimately, we all about music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? In the future.
Okay.
So let me hear a couple joints. Ain't out right yet.
Right.
But I'm excited.
Thanks.
So what's the ultimate goal right now? Are you gonna release or you gonna do a mixtape? Because it seemed like these was all original production that you're doing. And for those who don't know, actually, he and I are going to do a couple joints co-produced by my man Big Bont, and one joint that I did on my own. So
that's right.
So tell them what's the plan?
Well, I made $1 million out just to get the steam ball rolling, you know, because people, like you say, I felt like I had something to contribute back to the business, you know. And I made some calls like, hey, I feel how you feel about this, because everybody wanted a record with me. And you know, a lot of the CEOs used to call and say, hey, can we do this? And people just busy. So I was like, I got to do it for me. I got to put something out for me because I ain't want nothing to hold me up. So we made $1 million out, and it letting it breathe. It's only a few days out, like a week or so, and I got a bunch of records right now. I started off initially said I was going to do EPK, but I kept working because the production I was getting was just it was chemistry. So I said, let me just stay working while I'm here, so that way I can bust my gun. But as far as what you're saying about how I want to do it, it's a few things that's on the table now. So I just got to weigh the options and figure out what direction I want to go in.
All right.
Yep.
Fair enough. So the song that's out right now, let them know where they can check that out. And when's the next single or the next thing you're going to drop off of that?
Well, you can go to all platforms. It's on YouTube, DistroKid. It's you can get it's shot through all platforms right now. And the next single I'm trying to figure out what it was. I was leaning towards Toast, a joint called Toast, but I got a bunch of joints, so I got to go back to the drawing board this week. I'm just getting back in town, and this week I'm gonna go over and see which next single might be. Yeah,
and not to push the buttons on it, but we originally met when on a video shoot from Phil's Photography was filming, and he was filming it with Hamsicle and my man Swerve.
Yeah.
So that hasn't dropped yet.
Shout out to Swerve CEO.
Yeah,
and Sickle.
That hasn't dropped yet, and the video's fire, and I really dig the song. So is that in the works for the future, or you know what I mean? What's going on with that?
Yeah, that's in the works, but that's his album. That's Swerve's album. So I know he's signed to another situation. So
okay.
I don't know what their marketing plan is going to be, but I saw some of the clips of the video. It's hot. The song's fire. So I'm excited to see what direction they go in with it.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you're definitely the difference between promoting back then and promoting now. You're hitting all the podcast circuits up.
Yeah, I'm
Your
outside.
name is definitely buzzing.
Thank
and I noticed that a lot of artists from our time frame
right.
is starting to make their own podcast. Have you considered doing something like that in the future?
Well, it's always been brought to me through the podcast, and I got radio under my belt, so I wasn't against it. It's just everybody, like you said, was doing it, and I was just trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I was doing writing at the time, working on my series, Baby Boy series, and getting all them pages together. So. You know why I like the idea? I flirt with the idea because it's like, all right, I can get up and spit with my pieces because people want to hear from me. Yeah. And what better way to do it yourself and get it done? All
right,
yeah.
Well, if you are interested in the future, I got the team. We can definitely produce that.
Noted. That's noted.
And also,
that's noted.
Also, I think it would be epic for you, man.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, especially since you have, you're already in that circle. Like I've heard stories where, one of the guys that's out there started podcasts, and they actually show the dudes how to get to the money.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
How to do it. So if you have the resources and that can do it, man,
that's another thing.
Just go for it.
I'm glad you brought it up because you got to put the right people around you too. This business and everybody's not your friend. You know what I mean? Everybody's not your friend, and everybody don't want to see you make it. The beauty of my personality and who I am is I don't care about making it to the top. You know what I'm saying? Because every top got a bottom. You understand where I come from? So when you got that, and I like to get places at my pace. I do it slow. So when you got that going on, it's cool. But what you can't beat is good company. When you got good company and you got the good energy around, you win anyway. Plus, I was taught it was meant for you. Nobody else can take. I worked for mine. I wasn't pit head. I earned it.
Right. Yeah. And so hold on, before we get for that, you actually, aside from we're getting down to business. So we done talked about podcasts, we done talked about music. Let's talk about your acting career because honestly, when we was on our way down here driving and
Miss Freedom was
talking all kind of stuff. We should have had a camera in the car. You know what I'm saying? We should have had a camera in the car. But we're talking all kinds of stuff. I just lost track. Like, did I say that? How did we get there? But anyway, said you gotta you're memorizing the script for a play. We just came back from Miami, and we were at the it was a pilot for Men of Inferno, Men of Inferno Music. You left before we actually went to the Love and Hip Hop episode, but I mean, it seems like TV's in your calling too. So
well, that's what I'm saying. Everybody loves the music. Like I said, these records, I had to get it out my system. You ever been? And I speak blunt. You ever felt backed up? I had to release. You know what I'm saying? And I had all this stuff going. I had this built up tension, and I had to release it. You know what I'm saying? And I had to do it with the right people. You understand where I come from? So that's that. And after this, of course, because shout out to Freedom and the kid Dillard. I want to shout the kid Dillard out because he's been very instrumental in helping me, without a problem, helping me and getting into these places and putting me in the right places and around the right people to get it done. So shout out to the kid, and I'm working on I'm memorizing the stage play right now. Shout out to Miss Freedom. Don't beat me up. I had to come do this podcast. But yeah, definitely reading. So when I'm out here and I'm doing showcases, I'm at the hotel, I ain't got time to play. You know,
right.
I'm watching. I've been watching too. Like I can't even have no fun right now. But you know,
we've been having some fun. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. We've been having some fun. I don't know what you're talking about.
But I'm working.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, we working, but
can't
we
all
having
work
some
at
fun.
no play. So that's the beauty of this business too, because you actually can come outside and play a little bit.
Yeah. So I tell you another thing, which you didn't mention, which we gotta get with my man DJ Zim.
Okay.
So when we went to the Love and Hip Hop show, I was talking shit to the skinny dude in the back because
okay.
Nicki Minaj's sister was there.
No, I was there for that.
No, but this was at the actual the Love and this is at the actual filming. So she was there again, and I was like, "Yo, you got all these big dudes here. I want to fight the dude in the back."
Right,
you know what I'm saying? So
right.
it happened to be DJ Zim.
Okay.
So after that, we had a couple drinks and we went down to the radio station. Yo, he, he's on Kanye West's radio station.
Okay.
He plays all the underground stuff in Miami, and I broadcast live from there. I was just talking stuff on the mic the whole night, and I'm telling you, we need to hit him up and we need to get that record on there. Miami needs to hear that.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. It's time to hit all these platforms now because my whole thing was I had to work too. You know, I like to just plan and really have some work versus telling them, hey, I'm coming, and then I don't, So now I actually got a reason to just be in these guys' face.
All right, so listen. Everybody that come on the show don't necessarily have to play video games, but I give them an option, to take a stab at the champ. You know what I'm saying? I'm like 0 and 1,000. I'm 1,000 and 0. Let me get that right.
He's beating everybody.
Yeah, I'm beating everybody.
Let me find out. He's the only one down here with bragging rights.
So my man,
he's the only one with bragging rights down here. Man.
Wait. You know what? Let me clarify. On camera.
Okay.
My man over there feeling some kind of way because he might slip one in every 10 games or whatever. So, but on camera,
thought you was undefeated.
I'm undefeated. So what I'm saying is, and you telling your age with this one, he picked Pac-Man. So at this point in the show is where my team get to harass him while I win. So, you know what I mean? So the crew is ready. If y'all got questions and everything else, we're going to jump to the next segment. We're going to get our Pac-Man loaded up, and then we'll come back and we'll finish out our interview as distractingly as possible for you so I can win.
All right.
All right?
Cool.
Yo, and right here on Dram Spot.
Apologies for this interruption, but we have some breaking news.
All right, y'all. Listen up. So originally on the I Win segment, me and Omillio Sparks were about to go old school and hit up some Pac-Man. But let me tell you what happened. My man sat down, gave Pac-Man a spin, and then he was like, nah, you know what? Let's switch it up and do some air hockey instead. So boom, that's how we ended up going from chasing dots to shooting pucks. Just having fun out here.
Welcome to the I Win segment, an interactive way for us to get to know our guests on a deeper level, all while doing something different and entertaining. Here are a few ground rules to keep things fun for everyone. 1. Guest picks, the game. You choose the battleground wall, whatever game you're most confident in, no excuses. 2. Answer while you play. To make things interesting, you must answer all our questions during the match. Miss a question? That's grounds for disqualification. Our team's goal? Keep the audience informed and keep you distracted. 3. Only Dram can stop the match. Respect the ref.
Okay.
With JC, I made $1 million. Took a loss, feeling. I got back up and kept building.
You might.
What's up, people? It's your boy Omillio Sparks, aka Baby Boy.
You already know, I'm sort of CEO. We here to inform y'all what's going on February 13th.
We be live in Amsterdam, going live. You already know. We come to holler at the people.
From the States to overseas, man. We taking our grind from the streets to real TV. Man, we got so much going on. But again, February 13th, Amsterdam, live, man. I'm bringing Baby Boy with me.
And I got my passport.
He playing. He trying to make distractions. Excuse me.
You know, when you was in there and you was saying how you was bringing everybody on.
I did that. That's how I do it. That's why you gotta answer these questions too, or you disqualified.
Okay.
But what they all got in common, they're very passionate
So
about
was
their dream.
you and was you and Petey and all them under the
Players
same
win
management
$1
team?
million
No,
every
Louis
time I
ain't no
come
man,
through. We continue
Petey.
with
That was my man,
GDP,
the
I made
Italian
$1
boy,
million.
Louis and Ant Furlough.
Took a loss.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got
They
back
good
up,
folks though. Shout out
kept
to Louis
building.
and Ant. You see what I'm saying?
You can't celebrate.
I know I was answering questions though. I was answering questions on that one. Yeah, that was it.
What the fuck y'all do?
My team let me down. My team has let me down. My team has let me down.
How old were you when you started rapping?
How old?
Yeah.
I had to be at least 15. Yeah.
So you remember the first rap?
Yeah, that's the first one I spit at the IJ studio.
You still know the lyrics?
Yeah, I said, I'm on higher level. The man was higher level. Guns be burning from the money I'm earning. Remember that? Oh! Yeah, that was my first. I had one rap. That was it. I wrote it young. You see how intense the rap was? Oh, no! That was like 12, 13 on that.
So how did you first get hooked up with Rockefeller? Like, was that something you seeked out?
You know what? I always had Jay-Z music around at some of my family houses, but never thought I'd never. So when it came full circle, it was like surreal. I said, wow, look at that. I said, oh, you trying to get me one of them?
Ready? You get real intense over there.
That's gonna be cheap.
Hold on, watch this.
That's how you feel?
Yeah.
I'm trying to hit you with the angle.
Nah, you ain't supposed to keep your thing right here.
Ooh, look at that. Look at that.
I let the rules. Please do.
The rap music when you met him through
Yeah, I met Matt and rap, through rap. Yeah, yeah, he's from a different side of the city. So. Yeah. Come on now. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that chip joint. I don't need that kind of pressure. I need pressure. Hey, don't count. Don't call it a comeback. Don't call it a comeback. Don't call it a comeback. Oh, we got 35. Hold up. Hurry up, Phil. Get that over here. Oh, man. Yo, what are you trying to do?
30 seconds.
Okay. I see you trying. Okay. Oh, God. Ain't no point. Hold up.
15 seconds.
Oh, you trying to get me that way again?
8, 7, 6, 3, 2.
Put one. I'll take that. We can do the draw. We can do the tiebreaker. I'm back, man. If you want.
I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. There may or may not have been a sudden death match to that air hockey game. But what happens at Dram Spot, stay at Dram Spot. I want to thank Sparks for coming out. I want to thank my team and Swerve for dropping through. Check me out next time, Dram Spot.